You know shadow work is important, but how do you actually do it? Here's a step-by-step guide to facing and integrating your shadow self. Now, we all have a shadow, and the shadow self is all the repressed and rejected parts of our personality. And the term shadow was first coined by Carl Jung. And so I want to share a Carl Jung quote with you about the shadow. Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. At all counts, it forms an unconscious snag, thwarting our most well-meant intentions. So the idea of doing shadow work is to become aware of your shadow so you can integrate it and become whole. And so I want to share this step-by-step guide for how to do it, starting with step number 1, and that is to acknowledge your shadow self. And what I recommend doing for this is you can do just a little visualization meditation where you visualize meeting your shadow self. You could even embrace your shadow self with a hug. You do not want to see or view your shadow as your enemy. It's a part of you, so you want to treat it with love instead. Now, the second step to doing shadow work is becoming aware of how your shadow shows up. So there are a number of different ways the shadow can come up, and I'll share some examples with you. One of the most common ways is through your emotional reactions and triggers. So when you've been triggered by someone, you've had this emotional reaction, that's your shadow coming up. And so you want to work with your triggers because they are the clue to what needs to be healed within you. Another way the shadow comes up is through jealousy and envy, projection, blaming, self-neglect, addictive behaviors, fear of judgment, need for control, trolling and online negativity. So yes, all those people that write negative comments online, that's their shadow that's coming up. And people pleasing. And I was the people pleaser. This is one of my examples I will share. So I was people pleasing, but I wasn't aware that that's what I was doing, right? I just thought I was being a good person. And I didn't realize that I was actually people pleasing because I wanted their love, validation, and approval. I had no idea that I was seeking other people's love, validation, and approval. I had no idea that I was people pleasing until I did the work and became aware of it. And I was like, holy shit. I've been like people pleasing my whole life. And it connected so many dots for me. It made so much sense as to why I was behaving the way I was and why I wasn't being treated with respect back. So that's an example. So you want to just be very aware of the different ways the shadow can come up so you can start becoming aware of your own shadow self. Now, the third step is to work with your triggers and emotional reactions. Because like I said, these are the clue to what needs to be healed within you. Your triggers are your guide. So when you find yourself being triggered, you're having an emotional reaction to something in the external environment, stop and ask yourself, why did this trigger me? Start using emotional inquiry. And what I actually recommend for this is to have a journaling session. Write down, why did this trigger me? Why did I have this emotional reaction? And just start journaling to it. And you want to journal in a free flow kind of way, where you don't want to overthink, you don't want to judge what you're writing. You just want to write. Move your hand to whatever's coming up, just put it on the paper. Because as you do that, as you just free flow and you're just writing whatever's coming through, that is how you can actually bring things up from your subconscious mind, have these breakthroughs, these epiphanies and realizations about yourself and your shadow. So again, if someone has triggered you, you've had an emotional reaction, journal on it. Why did this trigger me? And just let whatever come up, come up. And this is a great way to help you find the root cause so that you can heal it. Now, the fourth step is to use shadow work journal prompts. Again, this is a great way to bring things up from your subconscious mind. So I'm going to share 3 journal prompts that you can use. Number 1, what aspects of myself do I criticize or feel ashamed of? Number 2, when I feel triggered, what does it reveal about my unmet needs or fears? Number 3, what childhood experiences still cause me pain or resentment? So the idea with journal prompts is you just write it at the top of your page, and then you just write in a free flow way again. So you just write whatever's coming up. Don't overthink it. Don't judge it. Don't even take it seriously. Just write. And as you write, again, this is how you can start bringing things up into your awareness for you to heal. Number 5 is feel to heal. And what I mean by that is we all have suppressed emotions in the body, right? And your shadow self can be linked to suppressed emotions. We haven't been taught how to deal with our emotions, and so we resist them and suppress them. And so what I mean by feel to heal is to use Dr. David Hawkins' letting go technique to start releasing these suppressed emotions in the body. So what you do is you simply, when you have a negative emotion come up, especially if you're doing shadow work, because shadow work is about digging into yourself, digging into your past hurts, digging into your childhood stuff, your childhood wounds and traumas. It's not easy work. It's uncomfortable, really, but it's important work. You've got to go into your darkness. You've got to become aware of these things in order to raise vibration, right? It's really important work. This is what's going to lead you to leveling up as a person on your personal development journey. So it's going to bring up uncomfortable emotions. And what I recommend is to use Dr. David Hawkins' letting go technique to 1, deal with those uncomfortable emotions that are coming up when you're doing shadow work. So for example, you may be in a journaling session and you might be journaling on something to do with your childhood, and that might be bringing up these negative emotions. So this is when I recommend you use the letting go technique. And this is where you just accept the emotion without judgment. What I like to do is I close my eyes and I just tune into my body. And I tell myself in my mind that I accept this emotion without judgment. And then I just allow it to be there, because we usually resist it. We don't allow it. And that's what keeps it suppressed in the body. So allow it to be there, sit with it, be present, and just observe the emotion and observe the physical sensations in the body. By doing this, you're allowing the emotion to run its course, and as a result, it clears itself out. You free it from the body. You know that you've successfully let go of the emotion when you feel lighter and more uplifted. You'll feel this release in your heart, and you'll just naturally feel lighter and more uplifted, and you'll feel that release. So I recommend doing that to release the suppressed emotions that are already there. And as you're doing the shadow work, you're most likely going to trigger those suppressed emotions to come up. So if you notice that these negative emotions are there, use the letting go technique. Accept it, allow it, be present with it, observe it, release it. And that's going to help you a lot. Number 6, this is really important, and that is to do inner child work. Now this work is really important because a lot of our shadow self was formed in childhood. It was based off how we were being treated by our parents or caregivers, our loved ones, our siblings, our peers, even our teachers. And so shadow work also requires digging up a lot of the childhood stuff, right? And you may find that you have a wounded inner child. So we all have an inner child that resides within us. And if you have a wounded inner child, that means that your inner child needs healing. And inner child work is like a whole topic of its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link a video at the end of this one that goes more deeper into inner child work and how to do it, because it deserves its own video, to be honest. So if you want to learn more about that, I'll link it at the end of this one. But really what it's about is reparenting your inner child and giving it the love, safety, or validation it never received. Now, number 7 is to accept and integrate. You want to accept your shadow self. Let go of judgment. You don't want to reject your shadow self because it's already the parts of you that are rejected. So accept it, embrace it, integrate it by becoming aware of it, and treat it with love. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you don't want to treat it as if it's your enemy. Now, number 8 is self-compassion. This is really important because, like I said, doing shadow work is not easy. It's revisiting past hurts, digging up the childhood stuff. And so I wanted to point out the importance of self-compassion whilst you do this work. And also self-care. So for example, let's say you've used one of these journaling prompts, you've had a journaling session, it's brought stuff up for you. However, it may have brought up uncomfortable emotions. And what I would recommend is like doing something like running yourself a nice, warm, relaxing bath after you have your shadow work journaling session. So treating yourself with love and care and compassion is really important when you're on this journey. So that's it. That's the step-by-step guide. I hope you got value out of this video. And if you did, let me know by smashing the like button, write me a comment. And if you like this sort of content around personal development, psychology, manifestation, spirituality, then make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to leave the follow-up video here for doing inner child work